Here we are, show 38, and we have our first technical problem. We've been 38-0 without technical problems. Donnie's pretty good. But for some reason, the camera he has pointed at me today on our first go-around with our show after an hour plus, it messed up. It has a cloudy picture. You might see it in and out, but he's mainly just going to have photos on me because he's so embarrassed of this problem. But we don't want to reshoot the show again, or I don't. We got other stuff to do. So you'll enjoy the show. You're just going to see a few more pictures than you normally would. The camera pointed at Donnie is just fine, unfortunately. So we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy.
Welcome to the only tech podcast that smells like race gas and sounds like freedom. That Moto Show. Tech podcast that rocks. With Donnie and Jay. With Donnie and Jay. Sometimes Spencer's there. Bringing the flair. Talking dirt bikes.
Okay, welcome, show 38. Who's 38, Donnie?
Oh, come on now. The Deegs.
Yeah.
Brian Deegan, Sr. and Jr.
And Junior was
Yeah.
38.
Yep.
So kind of a big number. Now, Deegs got some bad press lately.
Yep.
Some of it deserved.
Yeah, I didn't agree with his. I'm a fan of his.
Right. We both are.
But I didn't agree with the move, but I didn't think it was as bad as everybody thought.
Yeah, well. And I will say, this is one thing that's come out of this, is if Kitchen hadn't have done to him, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
Right.
So the sport is kind of like that. Like, that Kitchen move was, to me, was pretty gnarly and way gnarlier.
Way gnarlier.
Okay. But anyway.
That wasn't for a championship. Kitchen didn't have a championship on the line.
Nope. He was just making sure Deegan didn't get one.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think that what he did to Joe was, I would call, I don't know if I call it low class. The people always, it wasn't that dangerous. It's like he didn't T-bone him. He just was kind of pushing him high and blocking him everywhere.
For sure.
But it's still not good.
Not good, and it messed up our Denation's chance for sure. I think, right?
I
think he would have done really well in a 250 if
agree.
he'd gone in on a high note. If he had gone in not injured, I think nothing against Justin Cooper, but he was prepared on the 250. I think Deegan gets into a top 5 each moto on the 250.
Yeah, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day.
There you go. I don't even know. I can't even remember that saying now. So
my buddy Johnny Posca is also number 38.
Oh, nice.
And he raced pro under that number.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Kevin Wyndham was 38 on a 125 or 250.
On a Yamaha.
Was it a 125 or 250?
125.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
That's when they were changing the pipe out, maybe at Glen Helen.
Yep.
Was it a 38 then?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but that was it's been a good number over the years. So
Yep.
That one's cool. Right behind you is the TX300 build. This is our unicorn build. This is from the bike that we've been working on, I don't know, 6 or 7 months. Or no, it didn't take us that long, but it's been up in Utah, up there. I brought it back this last weekend. Really cool bike. And it was in the latest issue of Dirt Bike magazine here. Got the dirt bike, and then here is the bike in the magazine. I always still love, it's cool getting your bikes in
Oh,
in
for
the
sure.
magazine.
I know your fascination with the color red.
Yes.
Which I don't have the same fascination anymore. I used to be a Honda guy like you, but obviously we know what color I'm after at this point. But I think this is a really awesome looking color combination.
And I like the no numbers on the trail bike.
Me too.
I think I'm going to try to do some other themes like this. I did it on our dual sport a little bit. So Decal Works came out with Nick helped us with a design. I said, hey, I just want to not have numbers. And all he does all day is design numbers. So this goes against everything he stands for. But I said, hey, and he came out with this topographical idea. I think this was mainly all his idea on that layout.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
We should print our favorite tracks in like an outline
a design
on the number on the design.
There you go. Yeah, because all those track layouts are all available, like for the national.
Right? Wouldn't that be awesome? Just to kind of have it in there and have some. Yeah. Even name, Laraco's Leap on it and other things.
Yeah. So anyway, really cool bike. That's the last of the carbureted bikes that you can get from KTM. Really cool bike. We have the key in with JD Jetting. Tom Morgan did the head and cylinder porting. It just runs so good. I rode that bike a month and a half ago with Jim up in the mountains, and it was just epic. So it kind of got me thinking about riding it more.
I know you really like the carbureted bike. Like, what percentage do you feel it's better than the fuel-injected bike?
And maybe 20% better in a lot of ways.
And then
And then the simplicity is a lot better. You don't have to worry about mapping. Obviously, you just jetting, which jetting to me is a whole lot easier. And with these car bikes, once it's jetted, we're riding that thing at from 2,000 to 10,000 and it's fine. Now at 10,000, it's slow, but at 10,000 feet, you're not doing motos. You're just cruising, right? So you don't need...
You're also huffing and puffing so hard, you don't notice the bike is...
You're not doing any doubles or
No.
triples at 10,000 feet. You're just getting up there and then coming down. So that's my thoughts on that. So that's a cool bike. And then before we get too much further along, we want to make sure you guys know to email us for the questions like that. Also use our shopping links, Rocky Mountain link in the description from here or from our website. Any of those places you can get that. And then so races are over, Donnie. So what we don't really. Everybody's kind of recapped all that, but what are you looking forward to for next year? What's your biggest?
More races.
More races.
I don't care. I'm just sad races are over.
Right.
I actually didn't watch most of the MXGPs throughout the year, but I record them all.
Yeah.
And I have been going back and watching them. So I'm watching something
that shows how sick you are.
I'm watching something I've never seen.
Yep.
And so I actually have them on my DVR, and I just watch like once a week, every couple of days.
Keep a fix, a little needle going,
just a little bit,
a little drip. You got your fix.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Jet fan, just because nothing against Jet, just that he's winning everything. But I will say, when they keep the camera on him, I really enjoy it because it's fun watching him do what he does. He's pretty amazing to watch doing what he does.
I have to admit the same. I want Tomac to win more than anything, more than I've probably wanted anybody to win at this point. Because when you wanted, if Carmichael was behind Stewart in a national, you pretty much knew he's going to catch him and pass him.
Yeah.
No matter how good Stewart is. But Jet, that guy is truly from another planet.
Generational. So that part I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to I think that what did we talk about? Do you think Chase is better on the Cowie, or do you think that Tomac is better on the KTM? Which one do you think is better? Now, of course, injuries could happen, but which one do you think is overall going to be better overall?
It's a tough question because Chase is still younger in the middle of his career, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And I like Chase. I'm a big fan of his, but I don't think he adapts very easily to bikes.
Right.
Where I feel like Tomac has the ability with his longer experience to adapt quicker.
That's what I'm thinking. And I don't think this clutch thing is going to be a big deal.
No, the clutch thing is not going to be an issue.
I think they're going to get this figured out really quickly. I think he does fine. It doesn't mean I don't think he's going to do much better than he did on a Yamaha. I'm not saying that. I just think better than Chase, especially this season.
Did I ever tell you what I did when I worked in air conditioning? There was a lady that would always complain. I worked in big buildings, and so I put a fake thermostat.
I remember this. You told me this.
And she was happy as can be when she saw the fake thermostat. We should put a fake cable for Tomac, and he's going to think it's a cable clutch.
Faux cable.
Be just fine.
Very cool. All right, we want to get right into some questions. We got a lot of really good questions this show. So we're going to start over here. I had questions for our last show. Our last show was with Jamie at Twisted, and we never got to him because we were such a long show, and then I got Jamie on. So
that was the record longest show we've had.
So if you want to go back, Jamie at Twisted, that's a really good show. You can go back to that one. So our first one is Rick M. says, I'm trying to figure out what I've needed if I have a CRF 450R front wheel to go on my 2016 CRF 450X. What years of wheel and axle do I need? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is extremely simple because we went through X's for years. So 05 all the way up to like 17 X's are all the same. 250X, 450X, you don't need a wheel. You can use the existing 450X wheel. It has a little cutout for the odometer. You just put a seal in there. So if you want to get rid of your odometer, pick up your odometer trip. It's a trip meter, really. It's all it is. It doesn't have an odometer, so it's just a trip meter. That slips onto the hub of the thing. You just put a regular CRF 250 or 450R seal in place of that. Then you need to buy the spacer for that side and an axle off of a similar year, all the year, not a brand new one that's a little different, but if you bought a 2016 CRF 450R axle, if you bought one of those axles, the spacer and the seal, that's all you need, those three pieces. So if you buy those three pieces, you can convert your CRF X model to be like a Moto front wheel without that cable in your way, which we did it on a lot of our builds too, because it just kind of got in the way and we weren't using that pickup. You don't really need it.
I was looking in one of my drawers because I was going through some drawers and I found literally 15 of those Honda wheel spacers with the little black cup and everything on them.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of them. I don't know why I had so many.
Yeah. So anyway, I forgot to mention it's raining outside, so that's why I got to wear my vest again. I'm back into vest weather, which I really enjoy. That's just a side note. All right. Next one.
Yeah.
Denny
P. Hello. Love what you do. Haven't been on a dirt bike in over 35 years.
So sad. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's sad. Bought a YZ250 FX, and other than being very soft, being very sore after riding, I love it. Turned 58 next week. I know that pain. Love to see you and others out enjoying the sport, and I've been learning a lot from your clips, so thank you. I'd like to build a tire changer. If you could please send me the plans, please.
So, of course, I sent him one. I sent him the plans.
Thanks again.
Then I told him to not quit riding ever again. So
Yeah.
that's our problem. But this is a common theme we're seeing where guys have taken off for their the bulk of their married life, let's say. I gotta buckle down. I gotta be a good husband, father, and they quit riding. I don't recommend this, but I do understand where they're coming from, right?
What do you call quit riding? So if a guy has a bike and he only rides once every 2 years, he gets a weekend every 2 years.
It's pretty much quit.
That's quit.
Yeah, it's pretty
What
much
about
quit.
once every 6 months?
Yeah, then you're just a little better.
Little better.
Once a month would be like ideal.
That's not quitting once a month.
Once to twice a week
right.
is you're in the realm of
Okay.
of good.
Just trying to see where you sit.
All right, Rick L says, I really appreciate your maintenance videos. You're down to earth and a good approach and honest information has proven to be a godsend to a late blooming beginner like myself. So he's late to Moto. My 12-year-old son came to me one day out of the blue and said, Dad, I think I want to ride dirt bikes. Music to my ears, he says, and a tear to his eye, I'm assuming as well. And without hesitation, I rushed out and bought him a 22 CRF 125 and myself a 22 KX 250X. We got all geared up and ride 4 or 5 days most weeks. Without a doubt, the single best thing I've done for our relationship. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm learning to ride and maintain these bikes alongside my son at 50 years old. Always wanted a dirt bike, and as a kid, now I finally got my chance. So his son and him are on the beginner path together. How cool is this?
The shame is that his son in 6 months is going to pass him.
You're going to be
pass him up.
Yeah, but enough about me. I'm writing you to thank you for the content, and second to ask you about getting the tire stand drawings mentioned in your videos. Keep up the good work. So again, tire stand drawings, we got him those. I think it's cool, and we're going to have a video on beginner bikes, but I think it's really cool that his first bike he got him was a CRF 125. This is a bike Donnie had that I just got from you a while back.
Yep.
And it's a fuel-injected bike, no messing with carb. But I will warn you you still need to drain the gas. If it's going to sit for a few months, drain that gas out of there. And if you don't have a siphon, you might need to pull the tank off and dump it out. But those fuel-injected bikes are awesome. It's a great learning beginner bike for his kid. So I'm all totally supportive of that bike as a beginner bike. And then, depending upon his size, if he's 12 years old, then you can decide if you want to get him into an 85 or a super mini size bike. That's a tough part. All right, you got our next one, Donnie?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to enjoy this question because I know the answer.
Okay.
I know the answer.
Oh, yeah.
I know the answer.
Okay.
Zach H. Hey, Jay, I'm going to be rebuilding my 03 RM125 here soon. Is wondering what you think about big bore kits. I'm going to be exclusively trail riding on this bike. And I was wondering if the big bore kit is going to improve the low to mid range enough to justify the added expense. What are your thoughts?
No, it's not going to improve. I need my button. I have that, the easy button, and then I have a no button.
No.
Have you seen my no button?
Yes.
It says no in all these different ways. So a no, unfortunately. I just don't think in this day and age, and I've tried all types of big bore kits in 2-strokes. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, as Donnie says. He's the one that taught me that saying. So it's too much work, time, money to do that, especially on an older bike. Now, if you had a brand new YZ125 and you really want to get that, Athena has a 144 kit, if you really want to do it. But overall, they don't really give you enough power increase.
But that wouldn't be good for trail riding. That's only for racing.
Right. And for, it's just not going to give you enough added torque to really make a difference. So I say enjoy the bike as it is. First of all, it's not an ideal bike for trail riding no matter what. But if that's all you have, I'm not going to knock you. You have to deal with what you have. It's not a great trail bike because you have to ride it like. So the things you could do is a heavier flywheel would tame it down and make it a little bit more traily.
Sprocket,
rear sprocket going up a tooth or two, depending upon what's there. So those types of things, jetting, a reed cage, those basic mods was what I would do, and then concentrate on keeping fresh piston, fresh clutch, those types of things, chains and sprockets and tires, because that older bike, what was it, an 03?
03.
03, if that bike breaks, engine breaks, you're not getting cases, you're not getting gears. It's a real hassle to find parts. So there's no more parts on the internal parts. So enjoy your time on it while you can. That's my kind of thought.
This bike is what I refer to as a Dixie Cup bike.
Dixie Cup.
Once you're done with it, you wad it up and throw it away. So talk about what is a good bike. What are good bikes to put big bores on? Mostly 4-stroke. I never liked a big bore on a 2-stroke. They felt like they rattled so hard.
And now the 4-strokes, we were doing it a bunch. And one of the companies I worked with made big bore cylinders. They've stopped. That company doesn't make any anymore. And the companies I work with don't make any. I feel like the 250s, the Yamaha and the KTM bikes are so good stock with just an ECU, a slip-on muffler, those little bit of mods. And they run so good, I don't need any more power. So part of me is like that, because if you're borderline between a 250F and a 350 type power, just get a 350.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it. I don't know that it's worth the money anymore.
Right.
I think there was a time where the 250Fs could have really used it. I just don't think we need to anymore.
Yeah, they're so advanced now.
So my next one is, this is a comment. I got an email from a guy, I didn't keep his name here, but it's Chat GBT. Is that how you say it? GBT?
Chat GBT.
GBT. He looked up, he was asking me all these questions, and I had all the jetting specs in this video for his CR450X, and he decided, I'm just going to use what ChatGPT told me.
Oh, nice.
Now, the problem with it, that's going to...
AI has been riding dirt bikes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so jetting on dirt bikes is one of the most common questions we get, and I've said this over and over. Just go to the Pro Circuit website. We can have a link in here, and they have a support tab, and you go to jetting specs, and you can go down to your bike. Now, with a bike like an X, the jetting is hugely different. Like we're talking 50, 60 sizes on the main or whatever, if you open up your airbox and put a slip on or not. So you want to be careful what jetting specs you put in if you open up your airbox, which is what you need to do on a 250 or 450X. So the chat things, I'd be very careful. And some guys have even commented about using it for torque specs and different things. I think we have one of those comments later. And I would be careful because it's scouring the internet. I think it's okay to use it for general information, like you want to know the age or something about a movie or whatever, but I would be careful using it for certain important things, because no one's going to give you your money back when ChatGPT blows up your engine, right?
No. I feel like that it's better for prompts that give you some kind of advice, a lot more like business kind of stuff.
Yes.
But when you're asking other stuff, it's just searching the web.
Just searching. And it can be, so it's not getting it from a necessarily reliable source.
No.
It's getting it from a bunch of different sources.
It will take a bunch of sources and then it'll compound them and give you kind of an average answer.
And I doubt it's pulling from that Pro Circuit one, because that stuff's it's on their site. It's not been put into the web, right?
The main web.
Yeah, it's on support. It's in this tab, and it's in this graph looking deal. I don't think there's any way they're pulling from that.
Yeah.
All right, you got Jensen?
Yeah, Jensen. I have a 2017 YZ125 with a stock exhaust and a GYTR shorty. You know, I always get GYTR letters mixed up. I don't know why.
Getter. So when we did our video, our AI song, we got a bunch of those comments coming up. We put the fan on, and it was a GYTR.
Yeah.
Well, in the song, it's called Getter. So now
you should put done after that.
Yeah, Getter done. So it's Getter. A fan,
right.
Yamaha Getter fan. So now
it's got a Getter shorty.
Yeah, so we're going to call it Getter because it helps you getter.
It has a custom cylinder head with custom jets. I don't know what that means.
Right.
A needle. My mixture screw is currently 1.75 turns out, and there is oil leaking from the exhaust center connected part. I know, that little rubber piece in between. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm going to replace the connector part so it doesn't leak, but I don't think it should be much oil coming out of the pipe anyways. Should I back the screw out at least 2 turns? What do you recommend? Thanks.
Okay, first thing, 2 strokes leaking oil. Very common question I get all the time. It's normal. So unless you're riding wide open like a pro on a sand track, you're going to have leakage and go, well, then I can run less oil or I can change the jetting to back it off. The problem with that is you do that. First of all, if you run less oil, your crank and main bearings are getting less oil, less lubrication. So that's not good. Secondly, if you back the jetting off, okay, it's a little bit of a Band-Aid. It might run okay. But then when you get to any type of muddy or sandy or hill climbs, any of those types of tough conditions, you're going to burn the thing up. So you just grab a rag and wipe it off. And then when you wash your bike, it's gone. So you can help the jetting a little bit, but you should never get rid of it. It's always going to be there unless you're a top pro guy. And that's a common problem a question I get on two-strokes.
Those have those little springs around them. You can unscrew those springs, cut a couple of links out, and screw them back
make it
together.
tighter. We put zip ties on there, made them tight. But if you make it tight there, that oil liquid is still going. It's just going to go further,
and it packs into
your silencer, which we have a whole silencer video we'll talk about. That is really cool.
The problem is the oil is so thick it doesn't atomize with a fuel.
Yeah.
And so that it's not supposed to because it's lubricating. So it has to push that lubricant out. It's not a big deal for that oil to be coming out.
And one way to tell is we put our finger in the exhaust and it comes out black. It would be nice if your finger was coming out brown, a little bit black, not so oily black. If it comes out and it's dry, then you're really concerned on a two-stroke. It should not be dry or gray and nothing coming out on your finger. Guys, get on me for saying, put your finger in the exhaust and send me a picture. If they're jetting, I say, so if your finger goes in, it comes out dry, you're definitely going to be borderline too lean. So, all right, we got Billy B. He wrote me on lowering.
Can you handle this question?
Yeah, you're going to love this. He wants to talk about lowering his 300 XCW, okay? And he says, I'm 5'7". Like, dude,
that's tall, bro.
I used to be 5'7". Right when I graduated high school, I was 5'7". But
I think with your boots on, you're probably 5'7".
Oh yeah. But I was 5'7" for a few years, and then after a couple falls, especially at Glen Helen, I'm definitely shorter. Okay, so no, we don't believe in lowering bikes. Just lower your sag down, run your sag low. That's a PDS bike, so you can have the sag like at 120. You could move the forks up a little bit, but lowering that bike is just going to cost you a bunch of money and not help you much. Now, if you're 5'2" or something, it's a little different. You could consider it. So, and it's not allowing the suspension to work as it should. All right, you got our next one?
Yeah, Mike G. Dude, the podcast rules. When you guys start talking music, Jay sounds like Casey Kasem.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize he said music. So he said, so the way I'm passionate about it and talk, because my voice, Casey Kasem's voice is so...
This is Casey. I can't even do it.
It's so recognizable. And as much as I don't like pop music for the most part, when we're driving around sometimes, I'm amazed. Have you heard, they have some countdowns from 1977 or whatever, 1980. It'll be the same week as today in 1980, 1979. And they've kept those things and they sound amazing. And he's just so good at describing those and the stories. Remember they had letters people would write in?
Oh, for sure.
The sad love story and dedicate this song. So
that guy was amazing.
It was a part of our culture. As for us growing up, Casey Kasem was huge, like a big deal. So anyway, thanks to Mike for the compliment there, because I am a little bit passionate about it. Hey, he says, Garrett B, hey Jay, I'm sorry to bother you. I had just installed, and you're not bothering me if you email me, not a big deal. New clutch plates in my 25 Husky FC250. Which is also a little bit strange because I'm surprised he's burning up a clutch. I really wonder if he actually burned it up in a 25. We put a bunch of time on ours and haven't burned ours up yet. And I'm hard on clutches. So I pull it in first gear. While the clutch is in, it won't go back into neutral. I've checked everything multiple times. The clutch is bled properly. I've soaked the fibers for about an hour before installing. I was hoping to see if you know what might cause this. Okay, this is normal. This just happens. Okay, it's a hydraulic clutch bike. These bikes it's a race transmission, and the reason they make it difficult to get into neutral. So did he mention just getting into neutral or taking off and dying in first?
It just says pulling in from first gear while the clutch is in,
and it won't go back into neutral. Okay, this is totally normal. So on our bikes, I don't care which one of our KTM type bikes, especially if it's newer. We just kill the bike and I use my hand or my foot and click it into neutral at a stop. I know I have little chance of getting into neutral with it running. And if I do, it's usually I'm coasting and I can click up and I can feel it hit neutral, but it's tough.
It's like a lucky break.
Yeah, I try it sometimes.
You know what I do sometimes, which works, is I will just slightly rev the bike a little bit, and then sometimes you can get it into neutral that way too, with the clutch in. Clutch in, slight rev, and it'll pop into neutral.
So these transmissions the reason they're difficult is they don't want you to catch neutral, a false neutral when you're racing or riding. Nothing could be worse. So they made these transmissions so that it won't fall into neutral. That's on purpose.
I'm so used to putting my bike into neutral with my hand that I do it almost every bike. Even my Grom, I put my
right.
I'm like, oh wait, I don't have to do this here.
All right, you got Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence B. What's up, bud? Trying to play with clickers to make the bike stiff for some sand riding tomorrow. I never have touched them from factory and noticed they're in a different position. How do I know to stiffen and also know what they're in since they're in a different position? I don't know what a different position means.
You're going to laugh. I got a photo in the folder. So you're going to put a photo here
okay.
of some Honda bars.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how the forks turn?
Yeah.
Okay, what he's concerned about, and I've gotten other questions on this, but he doesn't know Moto, is that the forks are in a different spot. So one fork, say it's out at 9 and the other one's out at 9,
okay.
They're not lined up with each other.
Just loosen them up and twist them.
Yeah, the forks, if you want them to,
yeah.
but we don't even care. I've never even thought about this as being an issue because we're always thinking of how many clicks out. So when you're testing forks, suspension, shock, anything, and I was talking with a friend who was adjusting this stuff, they go, I went out this, and I go this, and I go, where are you at now? Well, I'm 4 out from where I was. I don't care that. I just want to know where you're at now. So always when you're adjusting suspension, you dial it all the way into 0. Yep. And a lot of times I dial it all the way into 0 and I back it off like a half a click till you get that first click, and I call that 0. That's what I do. Some people could call that 1, but I call it that 0 because it's kind of like a half. When you go all the way in, you want to be careful not to jam it. So go all the way in, back it up to that 1, and then I back it out the 9 or 10 that's recommended, right? Now, what he's talking about is those clickers. Now, if I back one out 10, this other one out 10, one's going to be clocked over here and one's over here.
Oh, he's talking about the actual screw.
The screw
was in a different.
They're clocked in different spots because your forks go in, and there's no way they can. Even if they went in, if you put them in and made them both line up, then I guess you could. I've never thought of this.
It's wherever the threading machine has thread that needle.
Yes.
In line with that screw.
And there's so many variables. How tight the cap is.
I've never even thought about this.
Right. So, but in his defense, he didn't grow up around Moto.
No, I'm not slamming him. I just like.
So he's got this, little bit of a over worried about things, and I get a lot of people heard that they're scared to work on things because of that. So what I tell guys, dial them all the way in, back them out to your stock settings. If you don't know your stock settings, get your manual, or Race Tech has a great resource on their page where you can put in your bike and it'll tell you all the settings.
I forgot
stock settings.
Which bike did this? Which bikes had on the top, one spring side and compression on one side and rebound on the other.
A bunch of those with the single spring fork.
Right. So what I'm saying is that's even worse if they don't know that the bike has a spring in one side.
So you have to know what you have.
You have to know what you have.
Exactly. So anyway, so don't overstress things like that. All right. So we got our last one. Our last question here is from Cody Orton, and I got photos of this build, Donnie. This is cool. You'll see this build. He got a 2000 KX125, which I guessed at the year because I knew those moon rims, and we just built one.
Yep.
And he put an ATV engine in there, a Blaster 200, and to make himself the ultimate little trail machine.
That bike was air cooled.
Yeah.
The Blaster 200 is air cooled.
That's why it was easy to put this thing, easier. You didn't have to worry about radiators or anything. It could go in. He was able to get this in his, and he got some cool pictures here of it in this bike. And so it's 200 cc's, which I think could be a very good for what we're talking about with it. And we're going to do another show here soon where we talk about good bikes for kids.
Yeah.
But there isn't good trail bikes. Now, the advantage of this 200 motor, KTM used to make a 200, and right now no one has one. But that that Yamaha Blaster engine, that 200, been around forever. Very simple,
indestructible,
and it's heavy, but
a lot of torque out of it too.
Could be a great little machine for the right conditions. So kind of a fun project. I'm guessing, and since they're both older, you can find a chassis.
I just don't like cross-pollinating. I feel like he should have done this to a YZ.
That's a good one. You don't want it to be a mulatto or whatever you'd call it.
Yeah, right. We don't need whatever it's going to be.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to our videos. We have some recent videos up on our YouTube right now. We have the best dual sport builds. We have 2 of those gases. Those bikes are awesome, huh, Donnie?
Yeah,
I love them.
And I can guarantee I know exactly why they're awesome.
Okay, tell me.
Because I have the very similar one that's...
We've done the same mods. With those, the main mods on those bikes are the ECU from Jamie at Twisted. He has his exhaust flange. and you need a slip-on muffler, and that's what makes them run amazing. So we have all that stuff going on.
Typically, when KTM, especially, this is really because they're the ones that have made what I consider probably the best dual sport bikes.
Right.
How do they typically have their like motor and chassis on the EXC like 2 years behind their motocross and their?
No, they've just been 1 year behind.
They've been 1 year behind.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
What about the motor? Is the motor current with the motor?
No, motor's current. So we have the newest generation motor in our 24.
They used to be like 2 years.
Yeah, it used to be a few years, but
okay, so now they're almost current.
Almost current.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what's nice, and their motor designs are so good with that 500 EXC, and so we love those two bikes. Then we have a couple videos on the TX300. We have our top end install with a piston, and then a clutch install with that bike right behind Donnie. And then we have a fun video with two smokers silencer repacking. We did 3 different silencers. Now this is a big job, and some of our comments are from that video on silencer packing. Some guys are all over the place on the comments, but it's a bit of a job. But if you're riding 2-strokes and you have little kids on 2-strokes, unless you want to buy new silencers, you got to get good at this. You need to figure out, because when you're at the track, you can always hear a raspy, terrible sounding 2-stroke. It's not fun.
Yeah, my next door neighbor, you've met him, I think, a couple times. He has a KTM SX 125 for his kid, and he smashed the pipe up, and he sent it to Robbie, and he sent it up to Robbie to get his pipe repaired. And,
good.
And his bike was all ratty, and so he's like.
Did he do the silencer too, or just the?
I think he's just doing the exhaust, which is pretty smashed up.
Okay.
But I was like, hey man, I told him send it to Robbie. You're gonna do it. Robbie's pipe repair and.
Yeah, so silencer packing is one of the most common things that I see neglected on 2-strokes, especially kids' bikes. And they don't run as good when they're all raspy sounding. So, and that Spencer, the song we made for that video is, what was the song? Rat-a-tat. I have it at the end. Hold on. The song is, what did he call this? Rat-a-tat-tat no more. And it's a fun song, AI song, and so we're going to play that at the end of this video. It's just a couple minutes, and it has some highlights of that silencer build, so you can see the video, get some highlights of the video from the silencer build, and listen to a cool song.
Okay, this is what AI is for. It's not for jetting your bike.
No, making cool songs.
Making cool songs.
Right. All right, so project bike work. KX500 is slowly moving along. I have a new piece here, Donnie. You're going to be impressed with this. You know what this is?
I can't see it. Turn it over.
It's for the KX500.
It is.
And this
it is.
Trick Machining made it out of Texas. Clayton Miller made this piece for me.
It is a block off.
No, hey, what did we do? Okay, because once I ask you this question, you'll know. But this is for the steering stop on my KX500. This is going to weld to the frame right here.
Yeah.
We're going to cut the stock steering stop off.
Yeah.
And then we can run a KX450 triple clamp. Now with Donnie's bike, I just answered my own question, I know.
Yeah.
We made a custom clamp.
Yeah, we did.
And unfortunately, John Duffy passed away. He's the one that made it for us at Applied. He made a custom clamp that had the correct shape to utilize the steering stops from Donnie's KX 500 frame.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut off the steering stop and weld this piece onto the frame when we do all of our welding on the frame. And then we can run a KX 450 clamp with no mods, just a regular stock KX 450 clamp, cast clamp.
But what about the bearings?
Oh yeah, all good.
Because the bearings are a lot smaller on the KX 500 than the new bearings.
Yeah, no, we're good. Everything fits. You can run the KX, it'll be KX 500 bearings, top and bottom. And then the only thing that's a little bit different we have to deal with is at the top of the steering stem, the diameter, I need to make a sleeve. So I'm going to work on that.
Oh, nice.
When we get a little further. But this piece is cool. And so also for those that don't want to weld their frame, he makes a piece. Basically, he reversed this since I was welding my frame anyway. That's why I want it. He makes an aluminum piece that you can drill and bolt to your triple clamp. So if you say you buy a KX 450 lower triple clamp, you can get the piece that would be reversed to this, would bolt to your clamp, and then you don't have to do anything. You just put your KX 450 forks in your bike. You don't have to go weld and paint your frame. Make sense?
Do you cut the old tabs off?
No. So you made it so that you can utilize the stock tabs. He makes an aluminum piece like this. This is the main thing he sells because most people don't really want to cut and weld their frame. Okay, they've already got the bike running, but they got some KX 450 or 250F forks they want to put on it and triple clamp. The easiest way is just to buy the aluminum piece from him, and you put that right onto your your clamps, whether they're aftermarket or stock. You can just, his piece just has, and you have to drill 2 holes and put 2 6mm threads to hold it in there. So you can do it that way too. But since I was welding the frame anyway, I figure we might as well just do it like this and be totally Sano. He was making one for someone else too, so he's able to figure out the proper distance this needs to be.
I would not have guessed that thing.
How cool is that?
It's very cool.
Very cool.
I thought it was going to be part of the foot peg. That's what it looked like, but I have no idea.
Let me ask, are you a little jealous? Just a little bit, like a couple % jealous? No.
0%
Because my bike's going to be, I don't need it to be way better than yours. I just need it to be a tiny bit better.
You're in fantasy land. My bike is superior. And you know what you have so far? Nothing.
I have a bunch of parts laying on the bench.
You have some parts.
All right.
When it's lined up next to mine, or we do a shootout between the two, that's what we should do, a shootout.
Yes. We'll have Spencer do lap times.
You do Spencer do lap times and overall feel. But I'm afraid he's going to be slightly biased towards you because he's going to want to keep riding that bike.
All right, CR250s. We have 2 of those left for those guys that are wondering. You can win the one from Buttery. So if you're looking to buy a CR250, you can get those from us. We have 2 left, the 95, 96s. And then Buttery is still doing his giveaway. You just buy merch from his store. And then right now, I'm still working with my 250F. My FC250 we talked about, that's the main bike I've been riding at Moto. And then the other bike we're building is a 350 SXF for motocross action that we'll have soon. So that'll be probably the next bike we show and talk about.
Is that the one you recently picked up?
Yeah. So I do want to talk, and then we also shot some videos with Recluse on install of an auto clutch that should be coming out soon. So that'll be cool. Okay, I want to remind everybody, all of our good sponsors, that this show is brought to you by Wiseco, Dunlop, FMF, Cardo Systems, Ventco, Decal Works, Blaster Products, Arc Levers, Works Connection, Pro X, Race Tech. And with Race Tech, don't forget, you can still sign up for those seminars. There's still like just a couple weeks. So when this comes out, there'll just be a couple weeks before the next round of seminars for suspension seminars. And then just a few days after those end, there's an engine seminar for those guys that want to learn more about engine work, those types of things. You can check that out at Race Tech. All right, let's get to some cool YouTube comments, Donnie.
Sounds good.
You got it pulled up there?
Yeah, I got it. You ready?
Yeah. There's 2 on this one.
Yeah, this is for the dirt bike tire change. And this is always good, but my favorite part is the 2-stroke song at the end of the vid. Ring ting tang.
Yeah. So one thing we're going to do, everybody's been, not everybody, but a lot of people have been asking about these songs. We've had people even ask their, Shazam or whatever, Siri, they ask different things, what song it is, and they can't tell them, they're like, what is this band? So we're going to start putting these videos out like midweek. We're going to start doing try to do a couple a month and get a few of these videos out. Yeah. And they'll have the full audio of the song and whatever video we had with it when we put it out. So we'll have some of those coming out soon. And then another guy wanted, so that question, that part of the song was Sano Adventures. And now we got Roberto3983 says, how can I get the dimensions for the tire stand? You just email me. People go, why do you email me? We have a lot of info we send to go with that tire stand drawing with a few YouTube links to some other videos that are very helpful that you'll want to watch before you start yours.
Yeah. Okay, Klaus Saxon, 313, surely a soak in the DPF cleaner would break down the carbon and save you from scrubbing and burning.
Okay, I haven't tried this, so I don't know if anybody else has tried this, but that DPF cleaner, do you know what DPF is? That like a transmission fluid or something?
I don't know what it is.
But anyway, so there is always 2 ways to skin a cat, even though you shouldn't be skinning cats. So thank you for giving that. And then I have another
skin a cat
on this 2-stroke silencer one. Fatty 2550 says, dang, I'd rather just buy a new one. I'm sure they'd be under $200. Okay, he doesn't realize how often you need to pack those. And then Mark Sanders on that same one says, get an air riveter from Harbor Freight. So nice, it'll pay for itself the first time you use it. Now, I'm open to that. Have you tried an air riveter?
No. I
mean, I don't rivet enough, but it's not a huge deal to, it's not like I get arm pump doing it or anything.
No.
So I'm a little concerned. Okay, so after that DPF one, now I'm onto More silencer ones. You got that one?
Yeah, from Barkeep.
That one right there.
Okay, I'm going to get hate for this, but I'd had a decent luck just using those little $5 packs of insulation from Home Depot. I can get about 3 shorties in one roll. I honestly don't notice any difference.
That's awesome. And I have no problem. If you can find a cheap way to do something like that, save you some money, that's great. The only thing I'll say is maybe it doesn't last quite as long, but if you're getting it cheap, I got no problem with it. It sounds good. Biggest thing when you watch our video, you don't want to overpack them. You don't want to get them too tight. That's when the sound is worse because it's blowing through it. The silencer part needs to allow some airflow to go into there to deaden that sound. And that's what also helps in the power. Okay, then the next one is he's commenting on one of our rides at Glen Helen. Huxtable says, where's this at? Would love to ride it. It's Glen Helen. If I have any track footage, it's Glen Helen, pretty much, right?
Right.
Unless we're heading into winter, so it could be some cold ones.
It could be in another state that's not in local.
Next to Barstow.
Next to Barstow.
Okay, now in our oils and chemicals video, which we did, we have a great video that talks about all that stuff. He says, quick question, I know you say your video, but I'm okay to run T4 and my 25FX 350. I can do 18 oil changes for the price of 4 if I can. And I go, yes. And then I got the same question from MX Sanchez. Well, it's the same guy. He writes it twice. Can I use T4 in my 25 350X? And the answer is yes. It works great. No problems.
It's funny because I was changing the oil in my Grom. You know, my kid's been riding my Grom quite a bit. And so I go, we got to change the oil. We can't just keep burning the bike.
Yeah.
And so I break out Rotella, and he goes, do you have any oil? And I break out a gallon of it, and he's like, wait, this is for a truck. I go, no, it's not. It's for my bike.
It's perfect.
Right.
All right, so we got dirt bikes, brake bleeding, Enduro X 1481. Hi there. How do you prevent your rear brake from fading during competition? I use DOT 5.5 fluid. Today I flush the system monthly. I cannot stop my rear brake fluid from boiling, then fading. Granted, I use the heck out of it. I do not ride the rear brake, and there's plenty of free play. I also have a rear brake cooler installed. What else can I do? This is a Woods Racing bike, by the way. Love your channel. Any help would be appreciated. Now, I don't know I don't even know what bike this is. A lot of those extra coolers I haven't had great luck with. They can leak and so forth. But if he has that on, it does sound like he knows what he's talking about. He's got extra play. You want to have extra play so you don't. That would increase heat. If you didn't have play, it would cause it to overheat. And he says he's not dragging the brake. Well, the only thing I'll say to that, he doesn't know that for sure. So one thing I will recommend to guys is to move your brake pedal up. We run our brake pedal pretty high. So that way, if you do accidentally get your foot on it, when it's high, if it's low and your foot's on it a little bit, you don't necessarily know it. If it's high and you accidentally touch it, you know right away because you start to stop. So you know, and that'll stop you. So that's one thing I recommend to guys. The next thing, if he's done all that, Motul has a very high boiling rate, full-on super fluid that you can do to try to help. Also, your brake pads, I don't know what bike it is, if on the brake pads, the stock pads seem to work really well. They also, a lot of them come with insulators on them, a metal and then like a fiber material in between. You need those insulators on. Those will help in reducing heat as well. So those are some things you can do. The main thing is keeping your foot off that brake. All right, Donnie, I'm just going to pick up here because I think we got our sync off on our, it's hard to believe, right? But
yeah, it's hard to believe.
All right. So on the 25 Sierra 450, 250R, we made a video showing how to quickly remove your shock. And there's only 7 bolts required on the new bike to get the shock off, which is really nice. And he says, your videos are like crack. I don't really need them, but I can't not click. So he really wants to watch those videos, which is really nice. Okay, so we have some here. This is Chill 52. Does anyone know the song at the end? And again, they're all AI songs that Spencer and I, mainly Spencer, has made. And then we got Rockman 4699, my favorite YouTube channel. And then another guy, the Master 5150, asking, is this track open every weekend? And he's talking about Glen Helen. And of course, yes, it is open every weekend.
It is open every weekend,
and
but
every week too.
Could have racing on the weekends.
You have to check that.
You have to check that.
The calendar is very updated, very well on the Glen Helen site.
I even showed up one time and there was like a mud run or something there.
Yeah, they do that. Okay, repack your 2-stroke silencer. The Beefy Joe says, the subtle humor cracks me up. The problem is I'm not trying to be subtle, so I'm trying to be really funny. All right. Then we got another one here from Mario Morales. He says, can you torque also with ChatGPT? It will tell you what torque might by the manual info. He's telling us to use that to find torque. I would just be careful of that. I would feel much better trying to find an actual picture of the manual that you actually see it, because sometimes it's better to not torque something than to use their torque spec that's higher than what you should, so then you end up breaking the bolts off. It's the worst. All right. On the McGrath CR250s, that buttery guy says, how do I enter to win? You just go buy their merch. And then I have another guy asking us, he says, try tennis balls. It's great. That's Left Coast RC. He thinks we can use tennis balls as mooses.
MX Collins says this video is absolutely gold.
Nice. I like
Thank you so much for posting.
Yeah. On the that 178 tips video is really helpful. So there's really 178 tips. So if you have somebody that's new to moto, that's something you really want to show them. It's easy to find it. Just Google Dirt Bike TV 178 tips or something, right?
I don't care if it's 178. It should always be 133 or 233.
Right. 233. All right, another one on the YZ top end piston change. Please put a link to this song. It's awesome. That's from Alan Thomas. So everybody's liking the song. So we're going to get that out there for you. Don't worry. All right, you got our next one?
Yeah, factory tire sticker from Frank Smell Jr. Good morning, Jay. Just a quick shout out from Northern California. I'm a 59-year-old vet, intermediate. I enjoy the show. I enjoy your content. I enjoy the fact that you give so much back to the moto environment. Have an amazing weekend, my friend.
I will, and I do. So thank you. I appreciate it. And people go, what can I do? Just support our good companies. We got good companies that help out with the builds and so forth. So that's all I'm looking for. I've had people ask me for my Venmo and different things. They want to send us money. We don't do that. Just support our companies. Use our links for Rocky Mountain.
I send them my Venmo.
Yeah, I could do that. Huh?
Yeah,
that'd be good. From our show,
I need to put food on the table. You know.
Yes. From our show, the 37 with Jamie, it says, this is SoTech. It says, great episode. I've had to rewind the ending to hear the song about 5 times. You guys really need to have these songs added to a playlist, Spotify Epic. So we are working on that. We're going to get them out there.
Must have dirt bike tools for your shop. Your last tip in the video is literally the most important.
So you know what it is? I had to go back and watch it because I saw this comment and I'm like, I don't know what the last suggestion
Put your tools away?
Kind of. So the suggestion was at the end, because I show all these cool tools and all this stuff, right? Well, at the end of the video, I talk about even when I was younger and when I was 15, 16, and I didn't have hardly any tools and so forth. The main thing is that you keep yourself organized in a nice space. You have a nice space to work on. I had 2x4s I had rigged up to hold a toolbox on top of a bench. But I could still keep whatever I did have organized. I knew where it was. In some ways, that's not as good now. I can't find everything. But that was his comment: is whatever you do have, do a good job of organizing it, keeping it so you can get to it and use it easily. So that's important.
I agree.
All right, we got this guy took a photo of this. I'll put it and so you can show it. The poster you had with the drill bit and hole sizes. Where did you get it and who makes it? So Starrett is a big tool supplier in the U.S. and they have this metric and English. So the name of it is it's a drill chart that does English and metric. And metric. It's this right here, Donnie. You see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
See it.
So inch, metric, tap, drill sizes, and decimal equivalents. What's nice about that is if you're used, and it has, you can find the closest in an American sized drill bits and our decimal equivalents to metric, whatever you want. So it's very helpful in finding drill sizes if you have all the various drill sizes. So that'll be helpful for you. And it's nice to have that chart somewhere. The other thing we like to have that we've added recently is a bolt. We have these side-by-side bolt things that you have standard, and you have one over here, right?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
We have one of those with metric, and you can go put a bolt or a nut in there and check your threads. I can usually tell what they are, even if they're American, but it's nice when I have helpers around who don't know. I go, hey, go put it in there, and then tell me what it is, and I can go figure it out. So that's good. And then our next one.
I'm lost again.
Oh yeah. Hey, user SE7 says, I have a 300 TBI and a 300 Carb bike. I prefer the Carbed bike. Yes, we've talked about that. So, and he has a TBI, which is a newer generation. Now, he didn't say if he has an XC or XCW. The XC to me is too much bike. It's a lot like an SX. The XCW or the TE on the Husky side, it's a little soft, not enough power. So we need a Goldilocks in between there.
Okay, Bridge 9177. Wasn't the frame meant to be white?
He's talking about that bike right behind you.
Yep.
And yes, so my original video came out and I said, yeah, I'm going to do this and it's going to be white. And then I had some comments that were kind of nasty, like boring white. So I did Bengal silver. We did this on one of our CR builds and it's pretty awesome. So it looks great. It goes with a lot of other things. It's just so much better than the blue, the kind of the ugly blue that the Huskies have had. So I think it works
there's
good.
no reason for the blue. It's just weird.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. That's why they went bankrupt. Okay. Enduro bike shootout we had, waiting on the standalone song post. Another guy. So Spencer, if he's listening to this, he's got to get to work. Repack your silencer again. Nice work. You guys must be generating those dirt bike specific metal tunes using AI. So this guy figured it out.
Yeah.
All right. You got the next one?
Is it Bike Life?
Nope, sorry.
Yeah.
This is the Moto show. This is number 6. So this guy's way behind. This is Silent Lucidity number 6 episodes. This is like almost 2 years ago. Love this show. Came here to learn about the tech of dirt bikes and have been pleasantly surprised about how your great taste of rock. I hope you keep on going with this because you guys are a great listen. Thank you, gentlemen. So he's counting you also.
Oh, that's very nice to call me a gentleman. I appreciate that.
Show us how to double tube, man. This is Bike for Life. I have Bike Life AP. He shows, we have tons of videos. You can go right to our YouTube and we have videos on double tubing. The reason for double tubing is you can use a standard heavy duty tube and then you could use your old stock one, which is kind of worthless if you're trail riding. For most moto use, stock tubes are fine if you're not racing and hitting lots of flat edges. But you can cut out that stock tube, cut the core off, and then you could wrap it around your tube and place it in. It doesn't make it much harder to install. And most of the time you're doing it on an 18-inch wheel, which is pretty easy. All right. Easy tire change. You like this one? Bertimus Prime. Okay, I get what he's getting at here. In our left corner, wearing the black Motion Pro Mechanics apron, the undisputed tire changing champion of the world, Jay, the YouTube tire guy, Jay Clark. So, and he's all happy hands. So thanks for saying that. But the real guys are the guys at the track, Brian Fleck and the crew that does the nationals every week. They do more tires than I do, and they do a pretty good job.
Do you guys? There's like 3 or 4 guys there on a weekend doing tires, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Do you guys have varying techniques, even though they're similar? Is there?
They're all pretty similar.
Yeah.
Because they've done it so much. That's where I learned most of the way I do it is from Brian.
Yeah.
And Brian is, and I think most of the guys do that because I think if you're going to go in an environment like that and do it totally different, if you mess up or have a problem, they're going to be like, hey, do it our way. I'm guessing. So I think most of the guys do it pretty much the same way.
Yeah. I
mean, to every T, to when you fill it up, when you're done, you fill it up, you tighten the rim lock first before you put air in it. You do these things that will steps to prevent you from maybe forgetting something.
So we need to go on Friday before A1 and go, okay, let's have a race between them and see who does it the quickest.
Right. When the problem there is too, it's about quality. That's the biggest thing there. So you're not scratching these. They all have brand new rims at Anaheim. They all have brand new stuff. Got to be careful to just take your time. And they're pacing themselves throughout the day. They might be doing 30 tires in a day, but they're pacing themselves.
Each guy doing 30 tires?
Yeah, can be, yeah.
Yeah.
So that can be a lot. So, okay. So we are jamming through with this show. Let's go through some tool time and parts here.
Okay.
Donnie found this. I showed up. He had his Garmin on this little 3D printed holder, which he just bought online, so that he could try it on his EXC. So you can find some of this like simple 3D printed stuff in various places online. The other cool thing, I've shown these before, but I got with our fittings. What I wanted to talk about more than anything, this is our Moto Perfected, and they sell these. They don't have a website or anything. I think you just have to call them old school. We'll try to. You can email me and I'll send you the info if you don't have it.
Where are they out of?
Illinois or somewhere similar.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Michigan probably. I'm sorry for not knowing that, but it's back there.
I'm sorry for asking the question.
Right. I'm not sure that, they're all very similar to us.
Yeah.
Because we live in California, so it's a little different.
Right.
Now, what I was mainly talking about with this is this. I got this from the kitchen, and it said chicken enchilada on here in Chucky.
Okay.
And then what did this other one say? Because this was a time before that, shrimp or something. So when you have something like this that doesn't have a holder, I think you should ask first, but ask Mama if she's got some old Tupperware or some type of similar thing, because they like to spend money. So they would rather buy a brand new one and give you the older kind of cruddy one, and then you got a good Sano holder for this tool. So I like this deal because these will be all greasy, and this is a good way to hold them, and I can just throw them in there greasy.
Have you ever, and I've done this in the past, and I don't know why, whatever reason, gone and taken a butter knife or something in the garage?
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yep. I haven't done it in a long time, but yeah.
I haven't done it in a long time either, because our silverware is nicer now than when I was.
And mine goes out to the garage and is grabbing my Snap-on screwdrivers, using it on stuff, and I go, hey, I'm missing one here. You're like, I know right away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's up here. I'm like,
yeah.
Just grab the Craftsman one.
Right.
She's not understanding.
They have no idea.
All right, so our next one is Enduro Engineering makes these brake tips for all the KTM family of bikes. See how big it is, Donnie?
Yeah.
And it has these other spots. I like to move it forward a hair, even though I don't have that big a foot. Look at the stock one.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Big difference.
Big difference. Height.
It's almost like 50% bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like that. So really cool little piece, not too expensive. It's a great addition. Now, there's pros and cons to running it on a trail bike. I would take the negative with it, but there is room to put a little snake on it, a cable to run it to your frame so it won't be as likely to tear off. We never really done it. We have broke the stock ones off. We haven't had any problems with these, but I just think that's just luck.
Is the stock one cast?
I don't know. But they weigh similar, so this one's not too heavy. It's just a little bit heavier than this. So the biggest thing is it's sharp. I like that you can really get your, it's a good footprint to get on there. I'd rather be able to reach that brake when I really need it, coming down the hill or whatever. That's what I want to have. So that's why I really like that one. We've been putting that on a lot of our bikes. And then the other thing is cool is I don't have a sticker from them, for the clutch weight. This is Blaze Racing, and they make this clutch weight. Instead of a flywheel weight can be a little bit more expensive to put on and harder to install for a lot of guys. So this clutch weight, like on our 350 XCFs or that bike right behind you, that one has one as well. So we'll put that clutch weight. It's like 9 ounces or 11 ounces, and it just gives you a little bit more tractable power. So good improvement for
helps you to keep from stalling as well.
The X. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point, and it gives you that little bit of power. Okay. So let's talk real quickly about you went to an adventure ride in Colorado. How was that? There was a KTM ride.
KTM ride, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. It was probably a little more pavement than I liked, but the trails were good. And Colorado was fun, but a little too much rain, but had a great time.
I didn't realize you got a lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
Oh.
We got drenched.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And had a good group of guys.
Did your jacket work?
Jacket worked perfect.
Okay, you had a climb jacket on,
Climb
right?
jacket on.
So that worked well.
And then I rode my 890, and then I actually loaned my EXC to my buddy because he doesn't have...
Your buddy Jim. And
Jim.
He liked the EXC.
And he loved the EXC, and we tried out. Travis kind of hooked us up with a new dual sport seat, and that thing worked really well. But it was... I think I'm going to keep going to these. I really enjoy them.
We'll throw some footage up there while we're talking about it.
Put some footage in there.
And some photos, whatever. So, yeah. You went last year to South Dakota, so this year to Colorado.
I think South Dakota was a little better, but it wasn't like, 50% better. It was just like, I kind of like the area of South Dakota a little better.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then since then, you've gotten some shots in your knee.
Yes.
Pretty gnarly, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Both knees.
Both knees.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for a comeback soon.
Yeah. So they were long-term steroid shots to help with pain in the
Voodoo.
knees. Voodoo
So,
that you do.
So for sure, we should be good for our trail trip in a couple weeks.
Yep, I'm set for that, no matter the pain I'm in or not.
It's like 10 days or 12 days. So a big trail trip coming up for us to the desert area, coolness.
Someplace else.
Someplace else, yeah. We don't have that cool stuff around here, is there?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We have some good stuff, though.
Yeah. So hopefully this stuff works, and you're probably just going to get a new knee. You know, Ping's going to get a new knee.
He is?
Yeah.
When did he say that?
Replacement is what he's thinking.
Yeah, my doctor said that too, but he was a little more ambiguous about when I need to. He's like, oh, yeah, you need to do it. But I'm like, okay, well, let's try these shots. And I'm like, okay, let's try these shots. All right, cool.
All right, so that's good. CD time. You ready?
CD time.
CD time. Billy Squire. This guy, pretty good rock, kind of in between. You know, a little bit. It's not as hard as I normally listen to, but he's a good musician, got a good beat. Do you know he's one of the most sampled artists on that rappers use? It's like
really
huge because he's got all these songs with this beat.
Yeah.
And so they use pieces of his song. I guess I should ask Chat. Why don't you ask Chat how much Billy Squire makes on, what do they call it? What did I say? Sampling?
Yeah, sampling.
Sampling his music. He makes a bunch of money on this. It's crazy.
How much does Billy Squire make from his music being sampled by other artists?
Oh, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these songs on this best of CD alone, and it's pretty impressive. So the songs: Rock Me Tonight, In the Dark, My Kind of Lover, Don't Say You Love Me, The Stroke, Everybody Wants You, Emotions in Motion, Eye on You, She's a Runner, All Night Long. Great album here, worth checking out. So if you're on Spotify or Amazon Music, whatever you got, you can go check it out. You know,
they're saying they don't know, but 1 to 10 million across his career
on sampling.
On sampling,
okay.
And you know, either one of those numbers are pretty good,
right? Okay, you know the song "The Stroke." That's one of his most popular songs.
Yes,
and a lot of people think it's about something else. Do you know what it's about?
The rhythm of music.
No, it's about fame, ego, and the game of being stroked by the industry, not about sex.
Oh,
Billy
boy.
Squire is warning musicians not to be fooled by praise and promises that come with a price. And then, which is really interesting, he wrote a big song in 1981, "Don't Say No." Became one of his biggest hits and anthems of the early MTV era. Then it said, well, it sounds like a raunchy song. Listeners, industry quickly recognized it as a biting satire of showing business hypocrisy. So it's about, you know, what we already know about the music industry. So he was already kind of ahead of his time as far as blowing up the music industry and making this song kind of bashing the execs and all that. I don't think it hurt that it had a bit of a sexual...
it never does. Double entendre or whatever they call it.
So he might not say it was about that, but that's what most people took it as.
My favorite song of his isn't on this album, right? Lonely as the Night.
Lonely as the Night.
That's my favorite song of his.
Why is that not on here?
That's the best song, dude, in my opinion.
Yeah. So this dude, you know what he got ruined? You know what ruined his career? He did a song, a music video, I think for My Kind of Lover, maybe. And it was, and the dude had a girlfriend, the whole thing, and his girlfriend told him not to release the video. And the video is him dancing around with a bunch of pink and yellow, like sheets and stuff, and kind of looking a bit femme. Okay. In this day and age, no one would think much about it.
No problem.
But back then, and he was a rock musician and with a little bit of pop, okay, but more rock than pop. He was in
between.
Here.
It was
and
above
so he was
pop. And
yeah, so he was in here, and when he put this out, this video came out, and it just killed his career, like killed him. So, and he still makes some good music over the years, but it really killed him.
So what's he doing now? Playing fairs?
He doesn't really. He got so much money. I was getting to in that sampling thing. He brings in a lot of money. I've heard some interviews with him.
Yeah.
Eddie Trunk did an interview with him. He lives in New York City. Like he's just big into it. He has a garden, you know, like in one of those community gardens,
rooftop,
you know?
a community garden.
Yeah. So they have one of those. I don't know if it's on a rooftop or not, but he has a community garden and he like helps with and all that kind of stuff. And
do people know it's Billy Squire?
Yeah. But I don't, when
He's
you're
75 years old.
Right. When you're 30 plus years out of popularness, no one really cares too much anymore, right?
Yep.
Hey, so you got a new phone.
Yeah, I got a new phone.
Baller.
Yeah. I go big.
Yeah. What is it?
It's the iPhone 17 Pro Max 2 terabyte.
It's like $2,000.
It's something like that.
Dude. Anybody watching this can just look. I could ask chat how much is.
You could ask chat.
Right.
Everybody knows how much stuff it is.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
But
I don't know if I need 2 terabytes because I have one right now, and I have 400 available.
I shoot in RAW.
Yeah.
And when I shoot in RAW, it tells me you have 16 minutes left.
Oh my gosh.
So when I'm shooting in RAW, because I use this for backup all the time, I start to get nervous as I get close to whatever.
Filling
so
up
I'm
your
like,
phone.
and I also have a bad attitude. I always think if a little is good, I'm always like, give me the top one.
And this one,
I bought a middle to low end Mac one time.
Yeah.
And within like less than a year is basically used up. And I go, I'll never do that again.
Right. You want to be at the high end.
High end.
The high end. Okay.
Yeah, but this thing works great. And why I got it was the camera now, the zoom feature on the camera doesn't, the video quality's a lot higher when you're zooming in than the previous cameras.
Yeah. Okay, hey, I got something here. This is, see the sticker right here?
Yep.
What this sticker is an event. It's a hair scramble. It's the Kurt Leverton Memorial Hair Scramble, October 26th. And on Saturday night, the night before this, they're going to do some fun stuff at the Farm MX. And this was Kurt. Kurt bought this farm. It's called the Farm, and it had a track there, and he had some woods and trees and stuff. And he had course throughout there. And he bought this and built a house kind of on top of the track. And so this was his favorite, like, fun place to go. So they're going to put on an event there. And Vintco is, of course, his company that he had when he passed. And so they're going to be one of the main ones doing it with this Des Moines Enduro Riders Club. So October 26th, if you're in the Iowa, it's south of Des Moines. If you're in that area, it'd be worth checking out. I think that's about it. Enjoying it and support all of our great companies. We have this cool song coming up. Donnie, you have anything else?
Nope.
For today?
I'm good.
Hey, on your table, we have some new grips, these Nomad grips. I want to talk real quickly about those. You haven't got to try them out personally yet.
Nope. You
have this set to go on a bike, an orange bike, I assume.
I'm going to put it on the one I'm going to ride next week.
Okay. So on the trail bikes, I am all about this and the dual sports. And then I tested it at the track back to back the other day. And I was surprised that think I'm sold on the track as well. It's pretty good.
Okay, so I need another set.
Well, you got to try it yourself. Don't go crazy. So I did really like it at the track. I was really surprised. Suspension in my hands. So you have to cut the ends off for your trail bike, but they're really easy to do, as you know, with the ODIs.
Yep.
Do a better job this time. Wasn't it you that had? Yes, I remember this story. Now this is coming back. I didn't bring this up on purpose. It just came out that on one of our trail trips, you didn't do a great job of that, and we had a throttle problem.
Did you know that it's actually not a great job? What I did, no, I was lazy. What I did was I took a multi-step and I just drilled in the bottom and put it on.
Right. And you didn't get in there and carve out the
nothing.
excess.
I just drilled it in and put it on.
All right.
I was in a hurry.
I have drilled them out with a multi-step, and it works fine. I do it.
Yeah.
But then I have my knife, my deburring knife, and I go around and I put my finger in there, make sure there's no lip.
And I'd fallen, and it had pushed the throttle over. Not even nothing.
It was rubbing on the handguard.
And it was rubbing on the handguard, and it was just stuck wide open. So Spencer and I took it apart on the trail, fixed it, and put it back on. And
I think you guys got it built pretty quick because I was catching up. Yeah, it wasn't
even 10 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes we probably did it.
That was awesome.
Yep.
All right, so I think I've touched on all the parts, tools, everything. So enjoy this cool song, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. Be good people. We'll see you.
See ya.
Whoa, yeah! Carbon builds up, clogging the flow. FMF pipe just lost its glow. On the trail it coughs and fades. Rips out a sound like it's locked in chains. But in the shop I know the cure. A silencer repack, crisp and pure. Rats out of no more. Let the power say, ring ting ting. Hear that two-stroke scream from the bottom end to the top it flies. Repacked and ripping under open skies. Why, yeah.
Wiseco Piston has over 80 years of experience manufacturing pistons in Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Wiseco pistons are developed and proven through professional racers, teams, and engine builders, including factory Honda HRC, Club MX, DBTV, Twisted Development, and many more. Wiseco is rooted in supporting grassroots racers across the country. Wiseco has been a sponsor of Loretta's and GNCC Racing since their very first events. Wiseco has a piston to fit the needs of any type of rider, from reliable rebuilds to serious racers. Wiseco is still the piston expert. However, the brand has evolved and has a complete range of performance components, including engine rebuild kits, clutch and valve train components, crankshafts, gaskets, and more. Wiseco has all of your power sports machines covered, from dirt bikes to UTVs, ATVs to jet skis. Find what you need at wiseco.com. We work with some great companies, and here's a list of those right now. Dunlop Motorcycle Tires, Wiseco Piston, Vinco Air Shocks and Dirt Bike Parts, FMF Exhaust, Decal Works Graphics, Pro X Racing Parts, Recluse Clutch Revolution, Motion Pro Specialty Motorcycle Tools, Works Connection, Uni Filter, Klotz Oil, Cometic Gasket, MX Plastics, JE Pistons, Cardo Systems, ODI Bars and Grips. And remember, if you shop Rocky Mountain, use our link from our site, Linktree, or link in description of the videos. Thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.